Yo, what up, Juggalos? It's your boy BobeBlaze with Team MUJ. I'm gonna sit down here to do something that it seems like I like to do if you watch the Weekly Wicked web shows often, and tell some Juggalo stories. This one here in particular, we'll be talking about 20 years of seeing ICP, and more synonymous along with that, it being the 20th anniversary of the Amazing Jeckel Brothers. This year, 2019, is a big year then for me, as I do think about that wow, 20 years, and I've been seeing the clowns, and I've wanted to tell this story. I've been thinking about it since last year, when they dropped the Amazing Jeckel Brothers vinyl here. I knew then, or it reminded me then, oh shit, it's been 20 years since the Amazing Jeckel Brothers came out already. So I knew that I would eventually tell the story, most likely on the Weekly Wicked web show, if not on some channel for Midwest United Juggalos. But as it happens, that the homies over at Jokerz Gallery are also putting together another docu-series for the Jeckel Brothers era. And I seen a post from our homeboys over at Carnival Spirits, decided to reach out to them and tell the story so that, more Juggalos could hear it, so that we could all reminisce on our times, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, 20 years, it's fucking crazy. Date me for sure in this motherfucking video. So man, yeah, I just wanted to tell the story, you know what I'm saying? Thinking back on it, the memory that I have or whatever, I do remember good things about it because it was my first concert ever. So not only was it my first ICP concert, it was my first concert ever, which is really dope, to see ICP, as your first group. I mean, that really kind of sets the bar, performance level, I guess, that you'd expect then from that point on. It was August 8th, a Sunday, in fact, August 8th, at the Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, Illinois. That summer started, I had got the Amazing Jeckel Brothers, had already been listening to ICP for about 2 years. Got the Amazing Jeckel Brothers, I'm pretty sure for getting out of, fifth grade or some shit, maybe 5th or 6th grade, I can't remember now, 5th grade, I'm guessing. And I got the shit then, and later on that summer, just before school was going to be going back, I had saw the shit in the fucking newspaper, and I was like, oh, damn, ICP's coming to Chicago. I wonder if I can get my mom to fucking give me tickets. At, 12 years old, I don't know who the fuck's going to take me besides my dope-ass brother who got me into this shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, I'm going to ask my mom, So I did, long story short on that end, got tickets to go, and my brother and 2 of his homeboys were going to be the ones that were going to take me and go with me. Like I had just kind of mentioned, my older brother Tom, he's the whole reason why I found out about any of the ICP shit, and it wasn't necessarily intentional either, because my mom didn't want me to listen to anything like that, of course, I'm saying, fucking 10, 11 years old or whatever, but I used to listen through the vents. My brother's room was underneath me, and I used to listen to the vent in my room and sit there and fucking, oh man, getting into this shit at 10, 11 years old, like I said. So it was only good enough that my brother take me to my first show or whatever. I remember going, his friends, Brian and Nate, the dude Brian drove a fucking all-white Jimmy or Blazer, and had 2 15-inch subs in the back. They used to call the shit the Poe Pimp, had a big old sticker on it or whatever. So they took us out there. We wanged all the way out in that bitch, out to Chicago. The Aragon Ballroom's still there. It's one of my favorite venues in Chicago, out of a few other places that I've seen ICP in the city. That's the only one that I've seen him at one time. They used to play the Congress when the Congress was open. They played the Portage recently or whatever. But I've only seen them at the Aragon Ballroom that one time. It's a beautiful venue for those who are watching who've been there. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice-ass venue, dope ceiling, and the inside's like a courtyard outside, you know what I'm saying? But it's inside of a place. But yeah, man, I remember rolling out there. It's the Aragon Ballroom when we got out. And at that point, I had seen the shockumentary and shit. So you see what what an ICP show is gonna be or whatever, man. And I remember as soon as we parked in the one lot and the line was wrapped around the building, I was like, man, this is fucking crazy, you know, because I'm 12 years old in this bitch. And it was wild, man. I remember seeing all the juggalos in line, and my brother's like 6 years older than me, so he could only been like about 18 or something at the time, maybe just older, I don't know. But I know his boys had walked away. They might have been older, and they came back and they had booze, so they were getting all like lit up or whatever. I remember getting inside and seeing a few people, and you know, I was a smaller motherfucker, and people asking me, "Oh man, how old are you? How old are you?" And I would lie, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm 13." You know, like thinking that would make me cooler. I should have been just telling them I was fucking 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Before when this tour was kicking off, that band Coal Chamber was on the tour, and right around the time before this, Coal Chamber had, like, you know, dropped off the tour or whatever, and there was some shit going on. It was probably about 2 weeks after the tour date that I saw them. ICP was on Howard Stern with fucking Sharon Osbourne, that now infamous scene, and all that shit went down about 2 weeks after this. So there was like some static. I had heard it from some Coal Chamber fans, believe it or not, that they had left the tour or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and they were replaced by, for this night, I don't know if it was for the rest of the tour or what, but it was Mindless Self-Indulgence. So I guess it was like maybe the closest they could get to replace Coal Chamber. I never even listened to Coal Chamber, and at that point I hadn't heard of Mindless Self-Indulgence. But on the tour it was supposed to be like Twisted, Biohazard, and then Mindless Self-Indulgence, then ICP. And that night even Twisted did not perform. They were like sick or some shit. It was like announced earlier that morning on the fucking radio or something, or I don't know, but Twisted wasn't there. There was no internet then, so you didn't find out shit like that yet. Like I said, I found out about the show in the motherfucking newspaper. But fucking, we get inside, and it was pretty dope, you know what I'm saying? I remember Biohazard rocking the shit. I remember when Mindless Self-Indulgence went on. Like I said, I'd never heard of them before. Jimmy Urine had like pulled his dick out on stage. Motherfuckers were booing him. Like my little 12-year-old ass giving him the middle finger and shit. Fuck you, you know. But during the interchanges between acts, I remember going upstairs, and I was looking. I'd split up from my brother, so I was upstairs looking around for him or whatever, seeing if I could find him or any of his friends. And I went over to one of the corner spots, and they had it roped off. Like I said, it's like a courtyard outside, so they have these little fucking balcony spots. And that's where Twisted was hanging out with Mancow. I remember like peering over, like, oh man, I bet you I could sneak over there right now. You know, I'm fucking 12 years old. No one's going to stop me or whatever. And I remember seeing it. I was like, yo, Mancow! Mancow! And, you know, fucking them and Twisted looked over, but, you know, I didn't pay my little ass no mind. But that was pretty dope, man. Like, when ICP came on, like I said, you know, this is my first show. I'd seen, like, Shockumentary. There was no YouTube. You couldn't watch what ICP shows were like. So it was only just going to be straight fucking madness and magic. And it sure enough was, you know what I'm saying? To this day, I can't remember any really part of the set except for the end. The end always sticks with me. I always tell people about the end. And when they finished with Assassins, motherfucking Chicago police came out and shot them. Curtain dropped, show was over. Stayed black though, so everyone's waiting around. ICP, ICP. Motherfucking curtains lift up again, and the whole background's now changed to heaven background with pearly gates and shit. And then the music for Nothing's Left starts playing, and ICP come back out, and they do, you know, their, you know, famous end the show craziness. And I remember, man, my 12-year-old ass in the crowd, like, holy shit. This is awesome. I want to do this all the time. I want to come to these shows all the time. That right there definitely solidified it. Seeing ICP like that, seeing the crowd of the Juggalos getting pushed around, and, you know, still feeling this camaraderie, you know, years before we started chanting family and shit, you know, here, seeing it then and seeing how cool it was, but seeing also how violent and wicked we were, you know what I'm saying? It was cool as hell. It stuck with me forever, man. I remember just like the feeling of it leaving that show, and it's so weird, you know, thinking that, wow, that's already been 20 years, but I've seen now the Clowns over 50, closer to 100 times now. which is crazy. I mean, you think about that, just 2 times a year would have been, 40 times, but I've seen them almost every year, 3 to 4 times a year. So that's pretty fucking dope, man, to know that moment really, even listening to them and all that stuff before that, and everything that's happened before that, leading up to that, and then going to that show, I guess really solidified to where here I am 20 years later, never changed up on that shit, where my whole life's changed and everything, grown up and all these other aspects, but still I'm just like, still go to ICP shows anytime they're within 4 hours of me, still gather, you know what I'm saying, all this other crazy shit, still a fucking diehard collector, and still love fucking with the Juggalos. That's why I wanted to share this story with you guys, you know what I'm saying. Kept it pretty short, kept it pretty sweet. That's really what it was, something that we could drop it in the Weekly Wicked Web Show. But it's just cool. I wanted to sit back and reminisce on this, you know what I'm saying. I do frequently, like I said, coming up in the Juggalo world with all these Juggalos, it's been awesome to meet so many people from across the world, and really, like, I guess I do owe it to that one night. Fuck the first time that I heard them, or the first album that I bought even. It was taking that extra step and going to see ICP live, and then here we are 20 years later. Fucking, it's dope as hell, getting ready to go see ICP again for the 20th annual gathering of the Juggalos. Yeah, it's wild shit, man. So, much love to everybody tuned in and watched this shit. Much love to all the Juggalos around the fucking world. Shout out Jokerz Gallery. Hopefully this shit makes it into your guys' thing. If so, man, much motherfucking Juggalo love to everybody around who listens to this. And if you're watching in the Weekly Web Show, hey, thank you. Until next time, for Team MUJ, I'm BobeBlaze. We'll see you again. My fucking happy fucking 20th anniversary to the Amazing Jeckel Brothers. Salute to ICP and Psychopathic on a fucking major milestone. Whoop whoop.